The term Byzantine Empire suggests an entity that's separate from what we call the Roman Empire. And yet, the Byzantines themselves called each other Romans, and their country wasn't Byzantium or Byzantion, it was Romania or Basileía Romaíon, Greek for Roman Empire. The term Byzantine was only used after the empire fell. So, who were these people and why did they call themselves Romans? Well, the answer is in the title. This is a short history of the mighty Eastern Roman Empire. Hi, my name is Sebastian and you're watching 7 Facts. The Byzantine Empire was a continuation of the Roman Empire in the Eastern Mediterranean region after the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. Founded by the Emperor Constantine in 330 AD, the empire lasted for more than 1,000 years until its final collapse in 1453. The Byzantine Empire was a melting pot of cultures and ideas, with influences from ancient Greece and Rome as well as from the Near East and Asia. Its capital, Constantinople, was a hub of trade, commerce, and culture, known for its magnificent architecture, art, and music. One of the most important legacies of the Byzantine Empire was its contribution to the development of Christianity. The empire played a pivotal role in the history of the Christian Church, as it was the seat of the Eastern Orthodox Church, which split from the Roman Catholic Church in the 11th century. This part of Europe didn't experience the fall of Rome, and the Middle Ages were rather different from that of the West. This was a time when the great western capitals of the continent were just a bit more than mere villages, while Constantinople remained a great, awe-inspiring metropolis. The Empire of the Eastern Romans acted as a shield for more than 1,000 years after the fall of Rome and allowed the rest of Europe to rebuild itself on the ruins of the Roman nation. The Byzantine Empire was born out of the Roman Empire that we all know, which had its capital in Rome. But in the 4th century AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine decided to move the capital to a new city, which he called Constantinople, now known as Istanbul. This move was significant as it shifted the focus of the empire from Rome to the Eastern Mediterranean region, which was more economically and strategically important. The new capital was built on the site of an earlier city founded in the 7th century BC called Byzantion, hence the name Byzantine. Under the early Byzantine emperors, the empire faced a number of challenges, including invasions from neighboring peoples, economic turmoil, and religious controversies. However, the Byzantine rulers were able to overcome these challenges and establish a strong and stable state. One of the most important early Byzantine rulers was Justinian I, who reigned from 527 to 565 AD. Justinian was a great military commander and conqueror who reconquered much of the Western Roman Empire, including Italy and North Africa. He also sponsored a major building program which included the construction of the Hagia Sophia, which remains one of the most magnificent buildings in the world. So, even though we're used to think the Romans were gone by the Middle Ages, that image is actually wrong. The Romans were still present and every bit as powerful and influential as they were in antiquity. Emperor Constantine is remembered not only as the founder of Byzantium but also for his conversion to Christianity and his efforts to make this the dominant religion in the Roman Empire. After his death, the Roman Empire was divided between his 3 sons. The eastern portion was given to his son, Constantius II, who ruled from 337 to 361 AD. Constantius II was succeeded by his cousin Julian, who attempted to reverse Constantine's Christianization of the empire and restore the traditional Roman religion. But his reign was short-lived and he was succeeded by Jovian, who also only ruled for 8 months before his death. You can see a pattern that emerges here. The next few decades saw a string of weak and ineffective rulers, and the empire was in a state of decline. In 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire officially fell, marking the end of the Romans in the West. However, in the East, the Roman Empire, the one ruled from Constantinople, continued to survive. Then came the aforementioned Emperor Justinian I, who is often considered to be the greatest of the Byzantine emperors. He is remembered for his codification of Roman law, his expansion of the empire, and his efforts to revive classical culture. Despite the hardships and the mixture of good and bad leaders, the Byzantine Empire continued to exist for over 1,000 years until it was finally conquered by the Ottoman Turks. During this time, the empire underwent significant changes, including the adoption of Greek as the official language, the establishment of the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the development of a unique Greek Byzantine culture. The Byzantine Empire experienced a golden age during the reign of the Macedonian dynasty, which ruled from 867 to 1056 AD. During this time, the empire saw a revival of classical learning, a flourishing of the arts, and the strengthening of the military. One of the most notable figures of this era was Emperor Basil II, who ruled from 976 to 1025 AD. Basil II is known for his military conquests, including the subjugation of the Bulgarians and the annexation of parts of Armenia and Georgia. Another important figure of this golden age was the historian and philosopher Mihail Psellos, who lived from 1017 to 1078 AD. Psellos was an important advisor to several emperors and wrote extensively on a variety of subjects, including philosophy, theology, and history. Thanks to him, Byzantine emperors repositioned themselves into power. The Macedonian dynasty was succeeded by the Komnenos dynasty, which ruled from 1081 to 1185 AD. The Komnenos emperors continued the policies of the Macedonian dynasty and oversaw a period of stability and prosperity. But, despite its golden age, the Byzantine Empire faced several challenges during this time. The empire was threatened by invasions from the Seljuk Turks and the Normans and faced internal struggles over religious and political issues. By this time, the Eastern Romans lost nearly all of their connections to their Latin Roman roots. The late Byzantine Empire was a period of decline and upheaval that spanned from the 11th century to the empire's eventual fall in the 15th century. They faced numerous external and internal challenges during this time, which weakened their power and contributed to their eventual demise. One of the major external challenges that the Byzantine Empire faced was the Fourth Crusade, which was launched by the Catholic Church in 1202. This crusade was intended to recapture Jerusalem from Muslim control, but it was diverted to Constantinople, where the Crusaders completely sacked the city and installed a Latin emperor. This event marked the beginning of a period of instability and major decline for the empire as it struggled to regain its power and prestige. By the way, the First Crusade began as a military support of the Christian West, directed by Pope Urban II for the Byzantine Emperor Alexius I, who was facing the might of the Seljuk Turks. Anyway, the Byzantine Empire also faced internal challenges during this period. The empire was plagued by political instability with frequent changes in leadership and many coups. The economy was also in decline as trade routes were disrupted and taxes increased. The Black Death, which swept through Europe in the 14th century, further weakened the empire's population and resources. Despite these challenges, the Byzantines managed to survive until 1453, when Constantinople was finally conquered by the Ottoman Turks. The empire's fall marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in European and world history. Byzantine society was highly stratified with a small ruling elite and a large population of peasants and slaves. This empire was deeply religious, with the Eastern Orthodox Church playing a central role in society and politics. Byzantine culture was characterized by its intricate art and architecture as well as its literature, philosophy, and science. One of the most distinctive features of Byzantine society was its social hierarchy. At the top of the hierarchy were the emperor and the ruling elite, who held the most power and wealth. Below them were the middle classes, a small stratum which included merchants and artisans. But the majority of the population were peasants and slaves who worked the land and provided labor for the ruling classes. For everyone, though, religion played a central role. The Eastern Orthodox Church was the official religion of the Byzantine Empire, and its leaders held significant political and social power. The church played a central role in religious life, but also education and charitable work. By the way, Orthodox means righteous or correct opinion in Greek, and Catholic means universal. Both sides of Christianity are Orthodox and Catholic. It's just that after the Great Schism of 1054, the Western Latin Church gradually identified with the Catholic label, while the Eastern Greek Church was associated with the Orthodox label. Speaking of orthodoxy, there's a reason why most Orthodox churches in the world share a unique style in art and architecture. The highly symbolic colors, the unique array of patterns, colors and styles used in iconography, the use of domes, arches and intricate mosaics in architecture, well, those are all a legacy of the Byzantine Empire. This legacy can be seen in the art, architecture and culture of many countries, particularly those in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. Byzantine art is known for its distinctive style, which includes mosaics, frescoes and icons. These art forms were used to decorate churches and other buildings, and they are still admired today for their beauty and historical significance. Byzantine architecture, with its use of domes, arches and vaults, was also highly influential and can be seen in buildings around the world. Once they were conquered by the Ottomans though, only the churches of the East kept at least some elements of the Byzantine culture alive. The empire's impact on politics and governance was also significant. Byzantine law and political institutions influenced the development of modern legal and political systems. The Byzantine Empire's legal system was based on Roman law, which was codified in the 6th century in the Corpus Juris Civilis. This codification became the basis of legal systems in many countries, including modern-day Italy and Spain. The Byzantine Empire was also known for its military innovations. Their armies were highly organized and disciplined, and they employed a range of tactics and technologies that were way ahead of their time. One example of Byzantine military innovation was the use of Greek fire, a highly flammable substance that could be shot at enemy ships and set them ablaze. The formula for Greek fire was a closely guarded secret, and it remained an effective weapon for centuries. Finally, the Byzantine Empire's influence on religion was profound. The Eastern Orthodox Church emerged from the Byzantine Empire and remains one of the most important religious institutions of the world to this day. The Eastern Orthodox Church split from the Roman Catholic Church in 1054, and this division had some major political and religious consequences in Europe. There's a reason why for many centuries Europe was, and still is, split into East and West and not North and South. Overall, the legacy of the Byzantines is extensive and diverse, and while their heritage was mostly replaced by the Ottomans, their influence continues to shape the world we live in today. I hope this video was interesting enough to have inspired you to look into it further on your own. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe. You can leave your comments downstairs, and you can also check out my Patreon page if you want to support me. I do hope to see you next time. Bye.